I'd like to keep you in the batter's box, if I may, President Carson, as we move to the next item, and that is the presentation of the Distinguished Root Stimson Award. And we will be presenting that for 2020. The award is given for outstanding service to the community by an attorney. And I would ask that you, President Carson, do the honors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for your kind remarks and for recognizing me once again for this privilege. This morning, I do have the privilege of presenting the association's 2020 Root Stimson Award. The award is named in honor of Elihu Root and Henry Stimson. Root, a past NYSBA president, served as Secretary of State under President Theodore Roosevelt and received the Nobel Prize for Peace. Stimson was Secretary of War under 3 presidents, William Howard Taft, Franklin Roosevelt, and Harry Truman, and he served as Secretary of State for President Herbert Hoover. For 46 years, the Root Stimson Award has been given to a lawyer who has demonstrated an outstanding commitment to community and volunteer service and to improving the justice system. This morning, I am proud to present the 2020 Root Stimson Award to Lawrence W. Golden. Throughout his distinguished career, Lawrence Golden has given hundreds of public awareness talks about wrongful convictions and its causes to high school and college students, as well as civic organizations across the country. As president of the Oneida County Bar, Mr. Golden did extraordinary work fighting for exonerees and developed a 5-day event that featured panel discussions with nationally known exonerees, a screening of the documentary After Innocence, and a live performance of the play The Exonerated. This program was so groundbreaking, that later that year, NYSBA awarded him the Bar Leaders Innovation Award. We will, excuse me for a minute while I bring this up onto the screen so you can see it. Obviously, the award, with the limitations of virtual meetings, the award is in my hands now, but I wanted you all to see this beautiful plaque that we will be delivering to Mr. Golden presently. And it reads as follows. The New York State Bar Association Root Stimson Award in honor of Elihu Root and Henry L. Stimson, members of the New York State Bar, whose careers personified the profession's commitment to public service, presented to Lawrence W. Golden in recognition of outstanding volunteer service to the community, which has reflected honor on the legal profession. By order of the Executive Committee of the New York State Bar Association and signed by Scott M. Carson, President. Mr. Golden, I offer my sincere congratulations to you, I'm sure on behalf of everybody on this meeting, and I recognize you to accept the award virtually. And if you want to offer a few remarks, you're certainly welcome to do so.
Thank you, President Carson, and congratulations, incidentally, for your accomplishments during the past year as president of the Bar Association. I'm honored and thrilled to have been selected as this year's recipient of the Root Stimson Award. This award has special significance to me personally. In 1976, the recipient of this award was the Honorable Harry D. Goldman, then the presiding justice of the 4th Department Appellate Division. Judge Goldman, in fact, presided over my bar admission proceedings in 1970. More significant, Judge Goldman was my great uncle, the brother of my grandmother, Molly. To be the second person in my bloodline to receive this award is certainly special to me. I want to thank the awards committee for honoring me today. I've always been a great believer in giving back to the community I live in. As attorneys, we have that obligation, as we have special knowledge, skills, and experiences that can only benefit the organizations we are inspired to get involved with. That's what's driven my past work with Family Services, the Red Cross, Rotary, and the Boy Scouts. I was fortunate to come from a family that always valued community service. And for that reason, I know that my mom and dad are looking down at me today with great pride. In 2008, I found myself with a new focus in life, a direction that would consume my free time during the last decade of private practice and continue into the years of my current retirement. That focus is working to end wrongful convictions in a flawed judicial system. When Bernice Lieber called to tell me that I had been selected for this award, I don't think that she realized the significant role that she had played in inspiring my passion for the issues of wrongful convictions. Bernice was president of the State Bar Association in 2008 when I was serving as president of the Oneida County Bar Association. The year before that, I had watched the documentary After Innocence, which focused on the work of the Innocence Project in securing the exoneration of several individuals who had been wrongfully convicted. It was an emotional experience for me. My fascination with the issues raised by that film led me to decide that the Law Day program in 2008 should be about those issues. As a result, Mattie DeLone, executive director of the Innocence Project in New York, and Roy Brown, who had spent 15 years in prison in New York before being exonerated in 2007, became the keynote speakers at our Law Day event. The success of that event inspired a 5-day collaborative program which President Carson referenced, collaborative with the Munson William Proctor Art Institute about wrongful convictions, a program appropriately called The Art of Innocence. Coincidentally, in that year, Bernice had established the Blue Ribbon Task Force on Wrongful Convictions, charged with the responsibility of examining 53 wrongful conviction cases in New York in order to determine the causes of each and develop legislative proposals addressing those flaws in the criminal justice system. The next year, 2009, I testified before that task force in New York City. The message I delivered was simply this: while legislative change is definitely needed, you can change all the laws you want, but wrongful convictions will continue to occur unless you change the mindset of prospective jurors. I emphasized the need for creating public awareness about the existence of causes of wrongful convictions so that prospective jurors would understand, for instance, that eyewitness identification can be extremely fallible, that jailhouse informants often are incentivized to lie, that some prosecutors violate Brady and don't share exculpatory evidence with defendants, that some so-called forensic evidence is nothing more than junk science, and yes, that people actually do confess to crimes they did not commit. As a result of my testimony and the programs I had established in Oneida County, I was appointed to the Wrongful Conviction Task Force in 2009 by Bernice's successor as bar president, Michael Getnick. Little did Bernice or Michael realize that these happenings of 2008 and 2009 were life-changing events for me. Indeed, they had inspired what has become my new mission in life: to create public awareness about wrongful convictions in a world of prospective jurors. It was that inspiration that led me to attend 9 of the last 11 National Innocence Network conferences and to acquire at these gatherings a whole new circle of what I consider to be very special friends. Exonerees, many of whom had spent 2 or 3 decades in prison for crimes they did not commit. This passion has inspired me to seize every opportunity I can to find to speak to college and high school classes and community organizations about these issues, and more important, to bring exonerees or their families into those classrooms. Nothing is more powerful than hearing an exoneree who has spent 20 or 30 years in prison for a crime he did not commit tell his story, how he had been wrongfully convicted, how he survived his experiences in prison, and how ultimately truth and justice prevailed when he was exonerated. One such exoneree, Stephen Barnes, was from Oneida County, my own community, and was released in 2008 after 20 years in prison for a rape and murder that DNA conclusively proved he had not committed. I met his mom, Sylvia, at our Law Day program in 2008, 5 months before Stephen was exonerated. We became close friends, and I had the privilege of being in the Oneida County courtroom when Stephen was brought before the county court judge and his handcuffs were removed for the last time. The sound of the cuffs hitting the wooden floor was a sound that I will never forget. Stephen and Sylvia and I have done dozens of programs together for college and high school groups. Most important, they have each in their own special way inspired my efforts for the cause of innocence. I also want to thank and acknowledge Jim and Nancy Petro, who wrote letters in support of my nomination. Jim was the former Attorney General of Ohio, who became the first AG in the country to work with an innocence project in support of the exoneration of 2 wrongfully convicted defendants, Clarence Elkins and Dean Gillespie, an amazing story captured in Jim and Nancy's book, False Justice. I met Jim and Nancy at an Innocence Network conference, and they have since become dear friends, sharing my passion for innocence. And I have to thank Sonny Jacobs and Peter Pringle, both death row exonerees, who also supported my nomination and who continue to inspire me day after day through their incredible work with exonerees over the past decades. In fact, we are in the process of putting together a public awareness program with Sonny and Peter, which will take place this fall in Naples, Florida. Being nominated and then selected to receive the Ruth Stimson Award was a surprise to me. It was not an honor that I had sought. My efforts to eliminate wrongful convictions is a labor of love. This award is the frosting on that cake. When one is motivated by sheer passion to become involved in a cause and a mission, accomplishing that mission is all the reward one seeks. If the awareness created through my efforts prevent just one person from being wrongfully convicted in the future, that will have been my greatest reward. I want to express my appreciation to Michael Getnick for nominating me. His support for the programs and work that I have done has provided me with wonderful inspiration. Because my involvement can seem at times to be a little bit obsessive, it requires family tolerance and support. I want to thank my loving wife, Joanne, my entire family for giving me that tolerance and support. Finally, I applaud all of the efforts of the New York State Bar Association to address social issues and crises facing many victims today. Its focus on working to prevent wrongful convictions, racial injustice, and mass shootings, to name just a few, puts this organization at the forefront of the fight for justice for all. It's their involvement in addressing these important issues that makes me most proud to be one of its members. Thank you again for this honor. Thank you.
Mr. Golden, let me say thank you on behalf of each and every one of our members of our association. We give out a lot of awards throughout the year, and we like to think that all those who are recipients are well-deserved. You, sir, have earned this award. And I know that if we were sitting in a hall, we were all present in body, I know that there would be a standing ovation for you right now. So I want to recognize that. I want to thank you for those insightful and inspiring words. And you said something, and you said that these words are words that you will never forget. And they stood out when I heard them, to the point that I wrote them down. I'd like to end by restating them. The sounds of the metal cuffs hitting the wooden floor, I will never forget. I too will remember those words. Thank you, Mr. Golden, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that is an example of the good work that we do as an association and the good work done by those out in the field. Next, we're going to go a bit out of order, and I am going to call on my good friend Libby Carino and the Honorable Karen Peters to make a report of the task force on attorney well-being. Libby?
Thank you so much, Mr. President-elect. I am honored to be here on behalf of the Attorney Wellbeing Task Force for the New York State Bar Association. My name is Libby Carino. I co-chair this wonderful task force with the Honorable Peters, who couldn't be with us today, but I know she passes along her honor of being able to serve. But before I go into our report, I just also wanted to just take a moment, and I was able to listen to Lawrence Golden's wonderful remarks. And I just want to say congratulations to him, and also how touched I was by the moment when we find a cause and a mission that touches our heart and our spirit beyond what we do inside of the profession on the day-to-day. And that's what attorney well-being has been for myself, for Judge Peters, who's worked on the Judicial Wellness Commission for a very long period of time. And so I want to honor all of us who go beyond the walls of our profession and reach out to make it arc towards something better. And so I just wanted to say congratulations to Lawrence Golden as well.